The room went silent. Not just quiet, dead silent. The kind that hits just before something explodes. There she stood. 16. Wearing old sneakers and a janitor badge. Just outside the glass doors of the 27th floor boardroom. Her voice didn't shake. That clause flips the blame. If you sign it, your company takes the hit. Everyone froze. The man holding the pen stopped midair. His wife stared, eyes wide. A slick businessman with a Texas grin gave a nervous laugh. "Excuse me," he said, too smooth, too fake. She didn't back down. Page 14. That line moves every problem to your side. If this deal goes wrong, lawsuits, fines, it all lands on you. The other guys? They walk away clean. Young execs traded looks. One leaned in. Another tapped his tablet, double-checking the page. Someone whispered, "She's the janitor's daughter. She shouldn't be here." But she didn't flinch. 8 hours ago, everything had been normal. The night crew moved quietly, cleaning floors no one looked twice at. She wore a faded hoodie. Her ID said visitor maintenance. She sorted trash, wiped glass, followed rules. No noise. No questions. Then she saw it. A folder left half open in the copier tray. The stamp said, "Final draft, merger agreement." Something about it pulled her in. Not curiosity, something deeper. She wasn't like other kids. No endless scrolling. She read business manuals, watched corporate documentaries with her grandpa. Once wrote a school paper on why a big company crashed. She flipped through the pages. Then she found it. Buried deep. A hidden line. Quiet. Dangerous. If things fell apart after the merger, his company would take the full hit. Not the other one. It was a trap. "Mom," she'd whispered in the hallway. "You ever seen a deal that gives away everything?" Her mom barely looked up from cleaning. "Don't touch their stuff, girl. You trying to get us fired?" So she kept quiet. But her brain didn't stop. Now back in that boardroom, the air was tight. His wife gripped the chair. The dealmaker narrowed his eyes. The man with the pen just stared. He lowered his hand. "You're saying that clause flips the blame?" "Yes, sir," she answered steady. "It's hidden, meant to confuse. But it's real. It doesn't protect you. It ruins you." His wife snapped. "She's a child." But he wasn't listening to her anymore. He turned the page. "Read." Stopped. His jaw tightened. The dealmaker leaned in. "We're trusting some kid who wipes door handles?" Her face burned. But her voice didn't shake. "You can laugh. But if he signs that, his company's name goes on every lawsuit." Silence. Then the man spoke, cold and sharp. "Escort her out." Security moved fast. She stood tall. Didn't blink. But as the doors shut, she looked back. For 1 second, he didn't see a janitor's daughter. He saw a warning. A mirror. He didn't sign. Next morning, the silence in the building felt different. Not calm. Just tight. She sat in the cold lobby, next to her mom. Marble floors. Tall glass. Her heart thudded. Nobody spoke. Nobody offered water. They just sat. Her mom hadn't said a word since they got pulled from their shift, but her face, stiff, silent, said everything. "I'm sorry, Mom," she whispered. Her mom turned slowly. "You should be. I cleaned this place to feed us. Not so you can storm into rooms like you're in charge. I didn't mean to embarrass you. I read something dangerous." Her mom's voice softened. "I raised you to be brave, not reckless." Before she could answer, the door creaked. A woman from HR stepped in, heels loud against the floor. "Mrs. Williams," she said, not even glancing at the girl. "You're on leave. We'll call you." Her mom grabbed her arm. Stood. Didn't speak. The wind outside hit her face like ice. She looked back once at the tall glass tower. She had wanted to change something. Now she couldn't even walk through the front door. 30 floors up, the man sat in his private office, alone. The contract lay open, untouched. His finger traced the line she warned him about. He stared at the paper, jaw tight. The words weren't just tricky. They were a trap, smartly hidden, meant to shift all the blame. He rubbed his temple, heart sinking. How did he not see this? Last night, she had said, "It's just a standard clause. Trust me." Trust. That word used to mean something. But now it burned. He flipped open his laptop and dug through contracts from Derek Vaughn's firm. The patterns were too clean, like someone had scrubbed them spotless. Names of fake companies, weird offshore links, hidden layers. His phone buzzed. Clara. He stared, then picked up. "You didn't sign, did you?" she asked fast. No, his voice was flat. "You're overthinking. We vetted Derek's firm. This paranoia isn't you. That girl's messing with your head. He paused. She saw what no one else did. Clara let out a soft, too smooth laugh. She's a janitor's daughter. A teenager. You're really doubting me because of a kid. He said nothing. I'm coming up, she said, then hung up. A few blocks away, Maya sat on the couch, cocoa going cold in her hands. Their apartment was small but warm. Her mom scrolled through job listings in silence. Do you regret it? Maya whispered. Her mom sighed. I regret you had to see adults fail. Maya didn't speak, but deep down, she still believed what she saw was real. Then ping an email. Unknown name. Subject. You saw it too? Her eyes widened. It was from Robert Barnes. I used to work there. I know what you saw. If you're willing to talk, I'll listen. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then she typed. Maybe she wasn't crazy. Maybe she wasn't alone. That evening, Jackson pulled an old file from the safe. Hail Internal Barnes Review. It was dusty, marked with warnings no one had listened to. Red pen scribbled one page. If they plant one signature trap, we're done. Signed, Robert Barnes. Jackson leaned back, and for the first time in years he felt something sharp in his gut. Doubt. Clara never liked waiting. She walked into his office like she owned the floor. No knock. Heels sharp against the oak. She stood by the desk where her husband sat, staring at the contract. It's still there, she said. You've had a day. I'll need more, he replied, eyes not moving. Clara's smile faded. This deal is time-sensitive. Derek's giving us terms no one else will. I also saw a clause that could kill the company, he said. She leaned closer, fingers brushing the contract. One clause. Legal noise. Don't tell me you trust the janitor's daughter over me. That made him look up. She saw it, he said quietly. No one else did. Clara's face didn't change, but her voice got colder. She made you question everything. She's 16, Jackson. That should scare you. No, he stood. What scares me is she was right. Later that night, Maya sat curled by the heater, flipping through encrypted files Barnes had sent. Tax documents, fake companies, tricky merger wording. She didn't understand everything, but she got the main point. It was a trap. Barnes had confirmed it. Derek Vaughn used the same scheme in Houston. The company took all the blame, collapsed under lawsuits. Vaughn walked away richer. Maya highlighted words: indemnification, liability, performance. She didn't know every term, but her gut knew this wasn't clean. I can't believe he's married to her, she muttered. Her mom, rinsing dishes, gave a dry laugh. Power marries ambition. Always has. At the same time, Jackson sat alone in the Gold Lounge, high above Chicago. He wasn't drinking. He was watching. Across the room, behind frosted glass, Clara, sitting with Derek Vaughn, laughing, her hand on his wrist. Derek grinning like they were more than old friends. Jackson's jaw clenched. Then Clara leaned in. Derek handed her a flash drive. Their fingers brushed. The kind of touch that meant something. Jackson turned away, stomach tight. Was this the woman he'd built a life with? Or had she been playing him the whole time? Back home, Maya's phone buzzed. Another message from Barnes. Check Clara's spending. 3 offshore transfers. Cayman, British Virgin Islands, Zurich. Maya gasped. She's in on it, she whispered. She's not clueless. She's involved. She opened her laptop, searched public records. Her hands trembled. There it was, Clara's name linked to a trust account overseas. At that same moment, Jackson opened an email from the bank. Subject: Suspicious Activity Alert. Clara had tried to move $2.5 million from a dormant company fund. The transfer failed. Just barely. He sank into his chair. This wasn't just betrayal. It was coming from inside his own home. And somewhere in the dark, 3 people couldn't sleep. A man staring at the ruins of his life. A teenage girl holding pieces too big for her hands. And a woman whispering to a man in a black SUV he's starting to dig. Derek just smiled. It all started with an email. No subject. No sender. Just one audio file. He hesitated. Jackson Hale sat alone in his office, the lights off, the silence loud. The kind of silence that made your chest tighten. He clicked play. A woman's voice came through. Cold. Calm. Calculated. He won't question it. Not if I push at the right time. Then a deeper voice followed. And if he does, we remind him what he has to lose. Jackson stopped breathing. Replayed it. Once. Twice. 3 times. When it hit him, it didn't break him. It emptied him. Clara wasn't just involved, she was the one pulling strings. He didn't scream. Didn't panic. He just forwarded the file to his lawyer. Then leaned back and stared at the ceiling. Not confused this time. Clear. Cold. Focused. Meanwhile, outside the Harold Washington Library, a teenage girl clutched a folder and flash drive. Maya's fingers were shaking, but not from the cold. Barnes had mailed her the evidence this morning. And what she found inside? It pointed in one direction only. Someone was trying to kill Hale Investments quietly, piece by piece. She walked into the library's computer lab, typed in Barnes' handwritten code. The files opened. What she saw made her stomach twist. 3 company mergers. All wrecked. All traced to one man, Derek Vaughn. And in every deal, deep in the digital trails, Clara's name appeared. Her approval codes. Her fingerprints. This wasn't just betrayal. It was partnership. Years of it. That night, Maya went to Barnes' apartment to deliver the evidence. But the door was open. No signs of struggle. No Barnes. Just one envelope on the table marked MW. Inside was a thumb drive and a sticky note. They know I'm helping you. Don't come back. Find someone you trust. Back downtown, Jackson parked outside an abandoned courthouse. Not for a trial. For a meeting. Victoria Chan, a civil rights lawyer known for cracking open impossible cases, slid into the passenger seat like she owned the silence. You came to the right person, she said. But this isn't just fraud. I know, Jackson replied. They're targeting my company. And I need to protect a girl who caught it before anyone else. Victoria tilted her head. A girl? She's 16. Name's Maya. And for the first time, Victoria smiled. Then she might be her sharpest weapon. The next morning, Maya returned to Hale Tower. Security was tighter. She wasn't on the list. So she waited, clutching her bag of evidence, until a janitor she recognized passed by. He looked around and whispered. Mr. Hale said, if you ever came back, I should take you straight up. When Jackson saw her, he didn't see a kid. He saw the truth he'd ignored. He stood, offered a hand, not like a CEO, but like a man ready to face his own failures. I owe you more than an apology, he said. I owe you the truth. Maya met his eyes. Her voice steady. Then let's get it out before someone else vanishes. They sat in his private conference room, papers scattered like a battlefield. Screens lighting up with timelines, fake accounts, fake names. Victoria joined them minutes later. This is your war now, she told Maya. But if we move smart, we win before they know it started. And for the first time, Maya didn't feel like she was running. She felt like she was standing on solid ground with backup. In Jackson's office, the awards were gone. In their place, white bars, scribbles, names, connections, arrows pointing to truth. Victoria paced, phone pressed to her ear. Jackson didn't move, eyes locked on spreadsheets, lips tight. She hung up. Justice Department's watching Vaughn, she said. But they need more. Maya pulled out a yellow folder from her backpack. Barnes left me this before he disappeared. Inside? Offshore accounts. Ledgers. Transfers. 3 names lit up the page. Clara Hale. Derek Vaughn. Raven Cross Holdings, just a shell. A shell funneling money every quarter from failed mergers. Victoria let out a low whistle. This isn't fraud. It's a long game. Predatory. Calculated. And it started under my roof, Jackson muttered. That night, Maya and her mom sat on the fire escape. The city buzzed below, horns, music, glowing windows. Her mom handed her tea. Hands trembling. They called again, she whispered. Said if I talk, they'll erase your school records. Make you disappear. Maya didn't blink. They already tried. You're just a kid, Maya. This isn't your fight. But Maya's voice was calm. Clear. It became mine the moment they used people like us to cover their tracks. Her mom looked at her. And saw something she hadn't before. Not a rebellious teenager. A girl with purpose. The night of the Hale Foundation Gala didn't belong to charity this time. It belonged to a man finally ready to speak. Jackson walked into the grand hall, dressed in black, eyes colder than the champagne. This gala used to be Clara's playground, press smiles, donor handshakes. But tonight, Jackson grabbed the mic. His voice cut through the glitter like a blade. I'm not here as a CEO, he began. I'm a man who made mistakes. Clara froze mid-sip, her grip on the glass tightening. Jackson confessed everything. How he trusted numbers, not people. Because numbers don't lie. But people? They stab you smiling. The room shifted. Whispers floated. All eyes drifted to Clara. Jackson continued, revealing he'd reopened every company file. And what one brave young woman found, he paused, locking eyes with no one, shook me to my core. Victoria stood in the back, unreadable. Before anyone could question him, Jackson stepped down and vanished. Miles away, Maya sat at her window, skyline blinking. Her lap held emails marked in red. One line stabbed her harder than the rest. He's starting to pull away. You know what to do. Just as she backed up the file, the lights flickered. Her laptop screen went black. Her phone buzzed. One message. Unknown number. Stop digging or we dig first. Her hands shook, but she didn't stop. Instead, she picked up a marker and wrote 3 words, not backing down. Because this wasn't a job anymore. It was war. The next morning, whispers flew faster than stock prices. Hale Investments under review. Anonymous whistleblower. Merger frozen. Some called it protocol. Others smelled blood. Inside the glass tower, Jackson stared at the skyline, jaw set. I built this from nothing, he whispered, and almost gave it to a ghost in a suit. Across from him, Victoria flipped a page. You didn't give it. You paused. She showed him evidence, Van's fingerprints all over it. This isn't just business now. It's justice. Meanwhile, Clara descended her penthouse staircase in navy silk like the world wasn't catching fire under her heels. The housekeeper handed her an envelope. Inside, a photo, Jackson, Maya, and Victoria circling signatures. A sticky note, you're losing control. Clara didn't blink. She dialed Derek Vaughn. That evening, Derek worked the summit like always, expensive drink, fake charm, but people weren't buying. Their nods were shorter. Eyes colder. He found Jackson by the balcony. Well, Derek smirked. You stirred the pot. Jackson didn't flinch. I stopped pretending I was blind. Derek leaned in, smile gone. You go public, you take your wife down too. The board will panic. The stock crashes. That your legacy? Jackson met his eyes. I'd rather lose it all than keep living a lie. Back at Maya's apartment, her mother turned from the phone. That was your principal. Someone filed a complaint, says you're disruptive at school. Maya blinked. I wasn't even there. Her mom's voice trembled. They're trying to shake you. You're scaring them. But Maya didn't feel scared. She felt clear. Ready. By week's end, Victoria filed a motion. Audit, injunction, whistleblower protection, Maya's name at the top. The media caught fire. Anonymous teen exposes Hale empire. Her school photo got cropped, shared, debated. Some cheered her. Some hated her. But no one could ignore her. At dawn, Jackson walked into the boardroom. The air was thick with fear. He dropped files onto the table, emails, audio, shell accounts. I should have seen this earlier, he said. I got comfortable. That ends now. He looked each person in the eye. You have a choice. Help me clean house or watch it burn. No one spoke. But one by one, they nodded. Meanwhile, in a quiet cafe, Clara sat across from Derek again. No fake smiles now. Just rage. He's not backing off, she said. Derek slid a black folder toward her. Judges. Journalists. A federal clerk. Clara closed it. We bury them. Across the street, a city bus passed. Inside, Maya held her phone steady, recording every frame. This wasn't secret anymore. The unraveling had begun. By Monday, Hale Investments wasn't a company. It was a war zone. Servers under maintenance. Compliance in overdrive. HR flagging words like offshore, whistleblower, and Hale. In the middle of it all stood Jackson, clear-eyed, steady. And finally, ready for war. She sat by the window, cold winter light falling across her face. Clara held the phone tight. Her voice dropped to a whisper. They're coming for us. On the other end, his voice was calm. Let them. We don't run. We strike back. You said the files were buried. They were. Well, someone just dug them up. It's not Jackson, Clara hissed. It's that girl. That kid. She's flipping everything upside down. There was a pause. Then he spoke, ice in his voice. Maybe it's time we remind them who really holds the power. Across the city, at school, Maya kept her head low. Whispers followed her like shadows. Some called her a traitor, others a hero. She didn't flinch, didn't even blink. But when she opened her locker, a folded note dropped out. We know where you live. Stay silent. Stay safe. Her fingers trembled. Just for a second. Then she shoved the note into her pocket and walked straight to the front office. No drama. Just action.